All right, it's Dave Johar for the Boxing Voice. Pleased to be joined by a friend of the show, Asgar Tair. How are you, Asgi?
I'm good, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime. Well, before we get into what you've been into, massive fight this week. We've been getting opinions from absolutely everybody, from Dean White, Manny Rubles, Adam Smith, Fabio Wardy, Denzel Bentley, Eddie Kelly, just to name but a few people. How do you see the fight going down on Saturday night? What will you be looking for?
Well, this is the beauty of this fight. You got two Olympian gold medalists, a former undisputed champion versus the unified champion, both who are serious. I mean, people don't realize the caliber of this fight. It really is a case of we don't know. It's who performs, whose game plan works. Usyk, southpaw, fantastic boxer. Cleaned up the cruiserweight division, dominated the amateur scenes, been in with the very, very best. Anthony Joshua, gold medalist, from winning everything to losing to coming back and winning it all. It's a fantastic fight. Now, I don't think people really understand the volume of this fight, the magnitude.
So with that as well, then, I mean, you've given some predictions before, most notably on the Josh Taylor fight as well. His most recent outing, also on Wilder versus Fury, to name another one as well.
Lopez
Lomachenko, which you got down.
Joyce Dubois.
Dubois. Many. I think you flipped your opinion last sort of minute on that one, didn't you? You were tossing it up, weren't you, in terms of which one to go for on that one?
No, I've always been a Joyce fan. And then when I seen Daniel Dubois spar in the Peacock gym, I thought, it's not going to end good. It's not going to end good.
So looking at this then, just analyse the fight. I mean, say it's Saturday night. Who would you tell people to back? What would your last pound be on if you were a gambling man?
Well, this is it. There's a massive difference, but who I want and how it would end up. Obviously, I want Anthony Joshua. Fantastic, a great ambassador for boxing, not just for Britain, but for the whole world. A great role model. He's a nice guy. I've never met him, but the way he portrays himself, a very, very nice man. Usyk, how do you bet against him? If it was your last dollar, how could you go anything against him? Because he's just a nightmare. He gets you at angles. And, he's a great, great boxer. We know Anthony Joshua's got power. We know that Usyk's a fantastic boxer. We know that Usyk doesn't have the power. We know that Anthony Joshua hasn't got the skill set. It is really a boxing tool set clashing. Now, what does Usyk? Everyone will say to you, it's easy for AJ to use that jab. It's easy to say, try and outbox him. You ain't outboxing Usyk. What you've got to do is get him out of his rhythm. If AJ can get him out of his rhythm and bully him, throw him about, use his weight, and show his ferocious powers, but not in single doses, in double doses. But then how far can you do that? How many rounds can you last? Can you do the 12 rounds for that? We've seen AJ looking a lot fitter, doing the rounds of boxing. Maybe that's what his game plan is. It is really a case of whose game plan works. Usyk is just a nightmare. If he squares you up, but then again, does he have the power? We've seen what he was doing at cruiserweight. He was stopping him, he was dropping him. But then as he moved over to the heavyweight scene, different ballgame. Yes, we've seen him knock out Tony Bellew, but Bellew was a cruiserweight, a blown up light heavyweight. Now, when he went up to the Bradis and the hooks and he started going to the Chisoras, and you can see that, But then people are reading this wrong because Derek Chisora loves to smother your work anyway. He'll make anybody's time hard. So you can't base it on that because Usyk has been in with the Joyce. You've seen what he's done with the Olympics. He's been in with a lot of them.
So
have I gone there? Yep.
No, you're still there. So with this as well, then, I mean, ultimately, can a cruiserweight carry their power over to heavyweight? We've seen some people do that successfully. Evander Holyfield,
David Haye.
David Haye as well, fantastic cruiserweight world champion.
Steve Cunningham.
Yep.
Tyson.
Yep. Over in Madison Square Gardens, was that?
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
shows you that at that level of that much weight, one punch changes the whole game. AJ's he's shown that he's a bit vulnerable towards the foot, towards the chin, but he's also shown what people are missing: his heart. Look against Klitschko, how he came back. Look against Dillian White, how he came back. You know, he was having troubles. Now, the key to this fight, if AJ has got a smaller ring, has got a referee. Can you remember when not Billy Joe Saunders, when Ricky Hatton fought Floyd Mayweather? Every time Ricky Hatton got close to Floyd, the referee would break it up. AJ doesn't want Usyk to get close to him. He needs a referee and needs to highlight to the referee. As soon as this man comes near me, break it up. He likes to hold, he likes to do his legal hit behind the head, break it up. As long as the referee's doing his job, AJ should be victorious, I think. But my heart's telling me Usyk.
really.
My heart's
yeah.
My heart's telling me Usyk. But I think the way AJ's coming along on this fight, he's very, very. He's like a sponge. He's learning every second. He's learning every fight, and he wants to learn more. You can see bringing Tony Bellew, Chisora, and all the team, analysing everything. Now, the truth is, you don't know how Usyk's going to go. Look at the public workouts. They're not giving anything away. He's a very cool, calm man. He knows his business. He's been at the very top for a long time. It really is such a fight where you generally don't know. My heart's telling me Usyk. I want Anthony Joshua to win. I want Anthony Joshua just to smother the man's work, take him out of his rhythm, step up the tempo from single jabs or single shots to double shots, and he'll be okay as long as he's got the engine to take him through to 12 rounds. If Usyk can take the shots, we know Usyk's got. He's a solid fighter, and he has proven himself. You've seen how his face was when he finished with Chisora. His face was all marked up and bruised up, but Chisora's a nightmare with anybody. And I think with the better the opposition, the better these kind of fighters perform. We've seen it with Billy Joe Saunders, we've seen it with Josh Taylor, we've seen it with Tyson Fury. I think Usyk's in that class. The better the opposition, the better you perform. Now, I favour Usyk 60-40. I want Anthony Joshua to win. I generally do want Anthony Joshua to win because we all want the fight between him and Fury. But regardless if he wins or loses, that fight will still be there. The interest will still be there because AJ's already proven to have lost. So, and we don't know what's going to happen with Fury and Wilder. That's not that's not all signed sealed. That could cause problems. But either way, I'm going for Usyk, but I want AJ. If AJ can take him out of his rhythm and double up the shots.
I mean, interesting story about yourself. Not many people know this, but you actually were in the opposite corner to AJ in fight number 4, was it?
It was.
I remember that over at Wembley Stadium. Carl Froch versus George Groves number 2. There's always been this aura around Anthony Joshua. Were you seeing it then in so early on in his career? There's always been this buzz, this aura around him, wasn't there?
Absolutely. He's a big man. He's a good-looking man. He's a gold medalist. He's marketable, presentable, likable. What isn't there to like about him? There's that I'll knock you out with one shot. Well, he's that one shot and I'll knock you out. And he's been doing that. He's proven time and time again. People say the mask's falling off. What mask? Now it's him. He's become a people's person. I think it's great. I think he's great for boxing. I love the way he looks after everyone around him. And that's what boxing needs. Boxing needs to be shown, look, there is a way out. Look at AJ. We know his history. We know where he's come from. We know he's had a bad upbringing. He's been in trouble with the law. But what's changed it? Boxing. So for these are our ambassadors. These are our role models. Very inspirational to show that, you know what? I've been a bad guy, but I can always be a nice guy. Boxing makes you that nice guy.
Good stuff. Thank you for your prediction. Now let's go on to what's going on in your stable as well. So you've got Mikey Lee coming out, making his debut on October the 2nd. Talk to us about that show.
Yeah, Mikey Lee's on the October 2nd Clifton Mitchell promotion show in Derby on the Roll World. It's his pro debut. Excited for Mikey Lee, a fantastic young man from Birmingham. I'm really excited because this young man lives and breathes boxing. Never an excuse, never a day off. Does exactly what needs to be done. He lives a life as a true professional, and I'm so excited because I can't wait to showcase him get him a promotional deal, get him on that TV. Once they see him, they'll like him. You know, he's doing well within himself. You know, on his TikToks, he's getting over 17 million views on one video, and he's got a new video out. He's getting over 180,000 just to start with. ESPN knockouts are all sharing it. People are sharing it all over the world, and it's just great. But Mikey doesn't understand, you know, just how big he's going to blow up. He's really going to do well, and I'm excited because obviously I manage and train him, so I'm excited. I really am excited.
Well, we'll definitely be there on October the 2nd, Asgi. And just your opinion on the fight after this fight, because I don't mean literally on the same night, but obviously, you know, we've got, and I say it's obvious, but every fight fan should know, Fury versus Wilder 3, October 9th, over in the States. So potentially, I'm not saying this is gospel, but what happens this Saturday night could affect what happens on the winner on October 9th, right? Because you could have a fight in the making for possibly next year. So how do you break that fight down?
Tyson's got to not underestimate Wilder. He's got to treat this like it was the very first fight. He's got to treat every opponent like he's the underdog, because we know that Deontay Wilder, he's got that ferocious punch. Just like Anthony Joshua, Wilder's learning. He's brought in Malik Scott. He's getting back to basics. He's starting to line up the shots. So he's gone blank there. He's starting to line up the shots, touching, lining up, stepping in. Whereas at the second fight, he was more on the back foot, and he thought he'll lure Tyson in. So now Tyson's got to be ready. He's very wary of this. He's not going to make the third mistake, because we all know he lost the first two fights. Obviously, the first one ended a draw. The second one was a win. So with Wilder, he's got nothing to lose. He doesn't want to leave it to the later rounds. He doesn't want to sit on the back foot. He's got to come on the front foot. Different ball game altogether, because we know it just takes that one shot to clip him. But Tyson Fury's already shown us that he's a great mover, and he can now show that he can punch as well. So great fight, and it does have a massive effect on the outcome, because AJ's made it crystal clear what he wants. He's not bothered about the Fury name. He's bothered about becoming undisputed champion. So should AJ win, Tyson lose, I think that fight's out the window. If Anthony Joshua loses, Tyson Fury wins. I still see that being there, because AJ's got the rematch clause, and I'm sure he'll exercise his rights, and he will go for the WBC belt. And the interest is definitely there, because people in Britain want to know who is number one. Well, we all know at the moment it's Tyson Fury, but there's still people sitting on the fence. You've got the AJ massive, you've got the Tyson Fury massive. So listen, it's great for British boxing. It's great for world boxing.
It's a fantastic rivalry. I mean, the years leading up to this, it took ages. People talking about Wilder versus Joshua Wilder. It was on the cover of Ring magazine. It just never happened. Big fights like this take a long time to come into fruition. So we're all hoping that I wouldn't even say the right outcome, but a fight of that magnitude happens next year. I'm a bit
confused about a few things. One, as far as everyone was concerned in America, that Tyson wasn't going to go to. Tyson was going to come back and become the face of Vegas. But then obviously with those talks with him and AJ fighting in Saudi, and then all of a sudden it must have rattled some cages, because the administration came up with a decision that the rematch must happen. And before you know it, everything was planned. And next thing you know, bam, October 9th, the fight's happening. Now, you've got to be very careful of what's happening here. Maybe they're thinking, hold on, we need to keep that WBC belt in America. We need to make sure that all the advantages go towards Wilder. I'm not saying it is the case. I'm just saying it's in the back of my mind. Now, Tyson, obviously, well, I know he won't. He won't underestimate Wilder. I'm sure he'll see himself as the underdog. And hopefully comes through sailing, hopefully.
You'll definitely be watching, and so will we. Before we wrap this up then, so just final prediction, you're definitely going with Usyk, yeah?
Yes. Oh man, why'd you forget to say that?
60-40, you said? 60-40?
No. If AJ if he bullies Usyk, throws minimum of 2 shots a time, and just keeps rattling him around, ragging him around, I'd go for AJ. But if he sits on his back foot, thinking that you can outbox Usyk, I'll go for Usyk all day.
And just final thoughts. Weight loss for AJ, looking trimmer. On the flip side, Usyk bulking up.
I don't know. I don't know about weight loss. I look at the size of AJ's legs. Unbelievable. And when your foundations are that strong, wow. You know, them legs will generate some serious power. I mean, Usyk's not changed much. Yeah, he's put on a bit of bulk around the neck, but that's nothing. But AJ looks serious, like he's going to maul him, like it's going to be a 2-round finish. So, yeah, in fact, yeah, it's come to me head. 2 to 3 round for AJ. If it doesn't go to AJ, if it doesn't go to 2 to 3 rounds, I would go Usyk round 7.
There you go, guys. You've heard it here. Let's see what unfolds on Saturday night. Asgi, all the best, mate, from the Boxing Voice, and we will catch up with you soon.
Take care, Dave. Speak soon, my man.
Enjoy the video. Feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, from title, betting shows. The list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.